Hello there, blade lovers. This old sword back with you again. And we've got some fresh steel on the block today. And it's Kubey time. That's right, Kubey time again. I'm getting to be very fond of Kubeys, and I've had them for a while. A lot of their budget models. There are higher end models. This one happens to fall into the budget category. I've been hemming and hawing about picking this one up, and it dropped in on me the other day from White Mountain Knives. And let's take a look at it. So you're not going to know very much from the barcode unless you scan that. And you know what? The box isn't very well labeled, is it? Not a problem, because we have that magic ability to go into the box. And I did open it and slice open the plastic bag. And they all come sealed in a plastic bag, which is kind of nice. You know, nobody's touched it before outside the factory. And here we have, for your viewing pleasure, the Kubey Drake. And I'm going to run down some specs for you from the Kubey website themselves. If I can pull out the trusty phone here. So the Kubey Drake is not a small knife. It has an overall length of 8.7 inches, a blade length of 3.9 inches or 100 millimeters, a blade thickness of 3 millimeters. I think I've seen it at 3.2 or so. We'll call it 3. The steel is AUS 10. Blade hardness 59 to 61 Rockwell. It has they're calling it a sandblast finish. I'll call it a bead blast. It's smoother than sandblast. Handle length is 4.7 inches. The handle material is G10. This one is a green G10, kind of an olive. The pivot and liner materials are 416 stainless. The clip on this one is 6AL4V titanium. It runs on ceramic ball bearings. It's a liner lock and was made, or rather designed, by a designer of note lately, Max Tkachuk. And Max has done designs, a lot of them for Kubey and a lot of them for, I was going to say we. Tucson, sorry folks. Tucson. In fact, I've reviewed a few that Max has designed for Tucson, most notably the Grandpa. Don't have the TS number on that, but I did a review which you can find on the channel. Let's learn a little bit more then about the Kubey Drake. Liner lock on bearings, AUS 10. I'm going to read you a little bit about AUS 10 in a few. It is a nice steel akin to 440C, but specialized enough that it has its own designation. We got a nice lock up here of, I would say, 30-40%. I did give this guy a little bit of oil. It is almost fall shut. You can open it with the flipper. You can open it with your thumb. Almost. You can open it, if you know what you're doing, with a spidey flick. What it is that's buried pretty deep, and unless you push, I mean, it's pretty close to the handle, so not that hard to spidey flick it. If you catch the edge, there, it did a little bit better. Same thing. You got to sort of commit your thumb into that opening hole there. But it is a viable means of opening it. We have almost full finger choil with the sharpened edge coming right up to it. There's a little bit of a cant forward on that point, which keeps you from sticking yourself with it, and I like that. Some edges kind of trend towards the opening there, and when you stick your finger in it, it gets you. So you got to be careful. Again, I wouldn't consider it a full finger choil, not like on the Nighthawk that I reviewed recently from CH. That's a full, almost oversized finger choil. This is, almost 100%. You can get your finger in there, you can choke up. We have pretty aggressive jimping. Not crazy sharp, but definitely grabs you and works. We have a lanyard slot. Couple of flush screws. Well, they're almost flush. They're flat anyway. And there's that nice titanium clip that is secured from the inside underneath the handle. There we have Max's moniker, his maker's mark. It says Max, and there's a skull and crossbones. There's your AUS 10 with a little bit of oil. I'm not sure I gave you the weight on this guy. I don't recall it anyway. So the weight is 138 grams. Those of you not yet bought into the metric system, I'm going to weigh it for you anyway. See what we get in good old imperial ounces. It is almost a 5-ounce knife, 4.960. You may have already done your gram conversion. We have a blade thickness of 3 millimeters, which is enough. And certainly if you get too thick, you lose some of the sharpness and thinness of the edge. Notice that's a nice high grind, almost all the way up to the spine. We got some really nice grind work the way that forward swedge just kind of gracefully comes down and meets the point, and that secondary swedge, or primary, however you want to call it, up here next to the point. Some people would call this a reverse tanto. I can't possibly envision that it's a reverse tanto, because if I flipped it over and put the edge on the bottom, that's nothing like a tanto, other than maybe a reverse curve tanto. And most tantos have a straight spine rather than a curved spine, but there's all kinds of designs out there. Anyway, we'll call this kind of a chopper warning, more lately towards the realm of chopper. But you've got plenty of point, notice. I kind of like that. I mean, if you forgot all about this, right there, you have almost a V point. So it can be a sticker. Large knife, and although it's 5 ounces, it's not overly heavy for its size. It breaks the ounce per inch rule, but that's okay. We got the Kubey logo on the pivot. Got a T8 on the other side. And a half back spacer of green G10. This does come in a very bright orange. I'm not a big fan of orange. I don't know what the trend is lately with the Chinese knives in orange, but traditionally a lot of the Chinese stuff, shall we say, has been in red. Red's considered to be good luck and so forth. You can add to that if you know more about it. But long ago, I came out of a background of the Chinese martial arts, and scarves were red, and all kinds of adornments were red. If somebody gave you a gift, it was in a red box. So I'm guessing the orange is close to the red, and maybe there's some significance there. Not the least of which is that if you drop the knife, you'll find it, most likely. Let's see what we compare here, size-wise, with the Benchmade Freak. I think we're going to have a similar sized knife, but if I back that out to the handle, it is slightly shorter than the Kubey, but very similar overall. And since I'm back to carrying my staple EDC knife, the Benchmade Boost, let's take that out of pocket and put it down there. Very close in overall length. Very close. I think if you really put the handle up there, handle to handle, and of course you can't see the pivot on the Boost, but it's a slightly longer blade on the Kubey, not by much. That's the Boost. And I did do a review on the Boost. You can check that out. So the Kubey Drake, designed by Max Tkachuk. Check out Max on Instagram. He's got some really cool designs. You'll see a lot out there, and a number of designs, as I said, for Tucson, as well as Kubey. I have a few other Kubeys, some of which I reviewed, that you can find the Max Tkachuk maker mark on. Great knife, and for somewhere in the neighborhood here of $50 or so, it is not a bad deal. I don't have, see if I got the MSRP for you. 71 MSRP. Sale prices are bringing them down to around 40. This came off of Amazon. I think it was in that neighborhood. Always wanted to review one, so here it is. And it's certainly a knife I would EDC all day long. Great blade. Hope you like this. Give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe. This Old Sword, signing out.